Guess who's back, bitches?
I like it.
Hello, family and friends. Welcome to another Talks with Liem Lee. This is available to the billions around the world on YouTube. And in YouTube, it's on in 4K, but also available on Pandora, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all the other platforms. I'm your host. I'm Liem. I'm a software engineer. I've been doing it for almost 2 decades. I bring the perspective of that in our conversations. And today, my sidekick is
Emmett Morgan. I'm a Las Vegas realtor with a degree in accounting. I'm the Chuck Nice of this podcast.
Awesome with that.
I almost like Chuck Nice.
From Neil deGrasse Tyson's Star Talk.
Oh, yeah. Except apparently I'm inappropriate. I cuss, and I'm probably a little bit... I'm racist only when it's funny.
Oh
so
I
think I did more cussing today than you did.
We're excited today because we've got Alvin back. We had so much fun chatting the first time that we're gonna do it again. Let's round two.
Round 2, y'all. You know, get your gloves up. We talked about Rogan, and then maybe I start thinking about gloves. But my name's Alvin Peoples. You know, I was on episode. I don't even know what episode I was on, but I was on your episode. Your podcast.
The good one.
Yeah, the good one. Yeah, the really good one. They're all good, man. But I was on the episode there. Also, mine's, you guys were just a guest of mine's, the People Choice Podcast. I love interesting people. I'm obsessed with really the journey of learning great people's journey and just the ins and outs, learning about you guys' cafe business, which was awesome. Good backstory on that. You guys learned about my life. 26 years old.
We talked about women who are missing a boob.
Yeah, we actually really did. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about...
I'm blaming you guys.
We talked about going to Australia. We talked a little bit rap music. We talked about...
There was some pussy grabbing.
Yeah, sneak distance to Trump. We
talked about helping or not helping.
So for this segment, this is going to be a shorter than normal podcast for my video. But the reason being is we spent about 2 hours on Alvin's podcast. So you guys should go check that out. The People's Choice Podcast. On that podcast, we talk about everything that Alvin talked about. And then for this podcast that's coming up that people are currently should be watching or if you're watching this right now, you're going to be listening to, we talk about rap music, and then we talk about our experiences during the actual day of 9/11. So stay tuned for that, audience.
Exciting.
Yeah, because this is when it was actually recorded on 9/11. So we talked about that because I know some people probably like when they see us, why are you talking about 9/11? But
yeah.
All right, audience, stay tuned.
Late.
Definitely.
Cut. Whatever we want to talk about.
You want to grill Alvin?
Yeah, sure.
I'm back, mother. No,
yeah.
Hey, we should start that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're like, we have like high note, like, guess who's back, bitches?
I like it.
I'll cut that into the beginning.
Yeah.
Cool. There we go.
We're in the bonus content.
Oh, wait, we're still recording. So, all right, we're in there.
What do you want to talk about?
What do you guys choose? I'm open this up to you guys.
I don't want to talk about 9/11. That's depressing.
Today is 9/11.
It is 9/11. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about not probably the events of it, you know, but like what were you doing? Because at the time I was like 6 years old, so like I was literally like in school. Like I think I was in first grade, but second grade, or maybe I wasn't second grade. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but I just remember like everything that happened, like as far as my experience at school. So
through the TV. Did they roll in a TV and
they ended up rolling in a TV. It was crazy. So actually, I guess I go into it. So it was just a normal, regular school day, you know. Yeah. And kids, you know, just being kids, you know, passing notes and stuff. Do you like me? Circle yes or no. You know. And I remember my teacher.
No one liked you.
Well, you know, I'd rather just not got the notes because I got a lot of no's, you know. Like they'll cross out the no. And they'll put like, ew, no, or hell no. No, I'm just playing. It wasn't that bad. But So I remember just in class, and my teacher, Miss Fingler, like just doing her thing, and then
Yeah.
another teacher comes in and like whispers for her to come over. Like, so she comes
Yeah.
over, whispers in her ear, and all the class, and we're cutting up. We're like, "Oh yeah, teacher got pulled out of class." Blah, blah, blah. So we were just acting the fool, and then like she just had this stone like look on her face, like.
Yeah.
And I was in Connecticut at the time too, so I mean, Connecticut and New York is right, like right there. I mean, we're
Right.
super close. So she's like, she tells us, all right, guys, we're gonna just go over here. We had a little rug that we would go like read stories and stuff, almost on some like kindergarten shit. But
Mhm.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we sat there, and then she comes back with like, you remember those like carts with the TV and shit,
Yeah.
and they'll roll it, and then she pushed the cart with TV on there, and then played it, and we've seen it on the news. Like we didn't see like the impact, but we saw
Right.
like the first tower smoking, and just everyone going crazy. Just so
Mm.
much paper was all over the streets, and just
Mm.
smoke, and like us kids, like we're like, wow, like this movie is freaking crazy. Like we're not thinking like this is real,
Yeah.
And then my teacher's like, this is happening right now. This is real, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh. And then like back in those, I don't know how school was for you guys, but like whenever a kid was getting checked out of school early, like
Mm.
the principal would yell it on the intercom. So like they'd be like,
Mm.
Christian Carter, please come to the principal's office. You're here for pickup. Your mom's here to pick you up, or
Oh, put
whatever.
it on blast.
Yeah, like on blast. So they were doing that like back to back to back to back. So like I was getting like my friend Blake, he went out, then my friend Jordan, like yeah, like people were just left and right. I'm like, oh, this is not good. And then here at my
Yeah.
home, you get like Alvin Peoples come out, to come to the principal office. Your mom's here picking. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And my mom will never come because she loves us in school. Get away from those
Yeah.
crazy ass kids, So she she picked up me, my sister, and my little brother was like maybe 1 year old, or not even one. He's I think he's months old,
Huh.
maybe one, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a baby. And
Yeah.
I remember a friend came, like she drove my mom and stuff. My mom didn't have a car, so they picked us up, and she just hugged us and was like, "Come on, we're gonna go
Mm.
home and stuff." And we're just driving downtown Connecticut, and just the panic, the fear that people are having
Yeah.
was just ridiculous. And I remember just my mom's friend turned on the radio, and people are just like, calling into these radio stations and saying their theories and things that's going on. So people are like, oh my God, they're gonna hijack more planes. They're gonna come crash to our children's schools and stuff. So like that's why like a lot of these parents were checking the kids out, because they were scared like more planes gonna get hijacked. They're gonna crash to the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty. They're gonna come to Connecticut and crash into Wash School and Drake School, all these different massive. And we're like, what the hell? And I remember just Petey Pablo, because my mom's friend just was like tired of hearing the shit, so she turned. And it was like Petey Pablo, which was like a big rapper. Actually, it's funny because I'm in North Carolina. He's from North Carolina, so he's like a big rapper. Time he had this big hit called North Carolina. So I was like, North Carolina, throw your hands, take your shirt off, touch my hand like a helicopter. That was his thing. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that song, but
no, we're not in North Carolina.
Yeah, well, it was pretty popular worldwide. Like, I was in Connecticut at the time. So he did a remix to it though. Like he just went down to the radio station and just said, like USA, this is for you. Take your flag, twist my hand like heck. So that's like a big thing, and then like it brought so many people together though too, because like I remember. It was on radio. They were doing like a gathering and stuff.
Is this the days after the event, or is this the day of?
No, this the day of. This is all the day of, and they're like
wasting any fucking time.
Yeah, like it was crazy because there was just so much uncertainty, so much panic. People were like trying to like, I'm hearing like friends, like in my neighborhood, like when we got home, and they're like, yeah, my mom is thinking about we're gonna drive to a different state. We're like one of my friends said they're gonna go to Delaware to stay safe, and I'm like, what the fuck? But I mean, you're just so uncertain, and then hearing
what's safer in Delaware than Connecticut?
Yeah, so that's why I was kind of like, why are we going to? But okay,
I got a cousin with a basement.
Yeah,
and guns. And, you got a lot of guns.
And what's crazy? Me and my sister was actually talking about this morning, where she was like, she remembers when we were actually checking out the school, she heard these other teachers talking about like. Damn, I think it's stupid that all these parents are come checking these kids out. If we're all gonna die, we're just gonna die. Keep them in school. And my sister was like, what the fuck?
I think that's actually an interesting parental instinct. Like if you don't know what's going on, it looks like the world's going crazy. Your instinct is, I want to get my kids and be safe with my kids. So that seems rational to me.
Definitely.
I haven't been a parent, but from the outside, it looks like, I can see why parents want to grab their kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if we're all going to die, at least let's just die together.
Or they think we can do something like run, or we can. Yeah.
True that. Yep. That could have been the thought process, but that was my experience with 9/11. Then, of course, watching the news at home, just everywhere, you couldn't escape it. Just on every channel, or at least on the bottom of it. Talking about it. Then we're seeing the second tower get hit, and seeing them come down. I mean, it was just crazy. And I have a lot of family in New York too that were impacted. None, thank God, have lost their lives, but just people they've known or friends that actually worked in the World Trade Center. Like, it was just crazy,
Right.
so much grief. And I mean, just, rest in peace to everyone who's lost somebody. Actually, a big wrestler that I'm a big fan of, her father actually was lost during 9/11. It's Lena Vega. I don't know if you guys ever heard of her. She's a professional wrestler for WWE, and but she used to wrestle all over the place in Independence. But her father, I don't want to misquote it, but either he was a fighter or one of the first responders, and ended up losing his life due to 9/11. So, and a lot of people I know still feel the effects of 9/11, and just rest in peace to everyone we lost. What was your experience like? What are you guys doing around 2000?
That's a terrible, unnecessary tragedy.
100%.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Not really, but sure.
Not really, but sure.
Whatever. I was in college, but I had picked up an accounting job while I was in college. I think I was an accountant for the Alzheimer's Association, and I think I was working 3 days a week or something. And it's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever it is. It's kind of like a 9 to 5 job. Mm-hmm. And so one of the days I was supposed to work, one of my coworkers called me, and this is like brand new for me to have a cell phone. Mm-hmm. And my coworker called me and he goes, what are you doing? I'm like, getting up. Like, I normally get up at 8 to come in, getting ready to run into work.
Getting ready to work.
Yeah. And she's like, you better turn on your TV right now. And so I turn on my TV, and of course these events unfold on the TV. But I still went to work. To me, I'm a low emotional response kind of person.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wasn't like run around, panic all of a sudden. I was like, I guess I'll go to work and see what happens, because that's in New York, and that's, it's fucking terrible. I tell you, I don't want that to happen. But
where were you at? What state?
This is down in San Diego, in California. Yeah, so I'm like, can I do anything about it? Not really. So I'm very solution oriented, right? Like, is there a problem? Is there something I can do about it? This is kind of way I'm wired. And I was like, that fucking sucks, but I guess I'll show up for work. So I, drove into work, and San Diego is very far removed from those events. It didn't really impact us in a direct way, right? It changed our nation. It changed everybody's mindsets, and we went to war for sure, but as a nation. But geographically, it didn't have a huge impact for me.
That morning, or that day, I think I woke up at like 4 p.m. So that was the first few months after graduation. So I was like up all night, like partying and whatnot. Even a few months out, I think I probably went to bed at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something. So then I woke up at like 3 or 4 p.m. and my brother's like, dude, check out the news.
Were you partying with Can and Tree?
That was way before that.
Okay.
So my brother says, gosh, you got to check out the news, man. It's like something out of the movies. I'm like, what? So then turn on the TV and sure enough, see the airplanes fly into the Twin Towers. And it's like, holy shit, it is really like from the movies, but it's in real life now. At that point, what was going through my head was a little bit of just what can I do to help? But then maybe the realization shortly afterwards, like, what can I do to help really? Like, maybe either it's being in San Diego, or that issue might be such a big geopolitical thing between governments, really. Unfortunately, what governments do affect the the small people. But so that that was kind of my if I remember correctly, I was like, what can I do to help? And then there's not much I could do to help.
It's crazy how we all got like 3 different perspectives of just how things went in our lives, from it, with you guys being in San Diego, you guys were at work or no, you was partying, you were at work and I was in class as a first grader. So like, that's just crazy. Just thinking like how long ago it was for one, and then just two, how it really changed just everything. Like,
I had some friends. I remember they're in San Diego. They were saying, should we drive up to New York and help out? Like there's that national pride, the want to help feeling. I think a
long drive.
I think none of them did it because shortly afterwards on the news, they started telling people not to come there because there's too many people trying to come help.
Traffic jam.
Yeah.
Well, that's depressing.
Yeah. Let's jump to, you guys want to jump to something else?
Let's criticize rap music. No? Okay.
Maybe that is.
I mean, certain ones, I guess, there's certain ones that could definitely get criticized.
Did we talk about this last time?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we did.
Rap music, is it more beneficial or is it more detrimental, or what's your guys' perspectives?
I have a burning question as to whether rap music is good for America. So I know, so I'm an older dude, right? So in the 80s, you have the emergence of gangster rap, which is NWA, Public Enemy. Ice-T was originally known for Cop Killer.
Yep.
So you have this gang, Gangster's Paradise from Coolio.
Coolio,
So all of these songs that glorify a very negative lifestyle, right? You don't want to be a gangbanger and a drug dealer and pimp and all of these things. But I think where that comes from is we are still suffering from the unequal society that we had. Even though we had the civil rights movement in the 60s, shit was not equal. You had a tough time in the 80s.
Shit
where
still isn't equal, like,
it's
crazy,
it is still not equal. But you have a lot of Black Americans that felt powerless. Right? I'm in a ghetto. What's my opportunities? What am I going to do? I can't get educated. I can't do nothing. And then you have something like gangster rap come along that is empowering. You can be a bad guy. But you have at least some power and some autonomy and some agency. So I don't know. This is easy for some dork to look at and analyze from the outside, right? So that's why I pose it as a question: is rap music today? Is it positive, or is it glorifying clubbing and irresponsible lifestyle? Or can kids distinguish entertainers from role models? Do we have too many kids in the ghetto trying to become rap superstars? It's not a viable path for most people to succeed, right? We can't all be we can't all be 50 Cent.
Yeah, we all can't be 50 Cent or, like NWA or any of the people that you mentioned. But actually, it's funny you say NWA from, before, because actually I was watching shit out of Compton not that long ago.
Yeah.
And Ice Cube, was getting criticized. Well, the whole crew was about just their lyrics and stuff. And he's like, we're no different from any of you journalists that are broadcasting stuff on the news about what's going on. It's like, we're doing it with, like a rhyme, behind a beat. This is our reality in the ghettos. There is police brutality, there is racism, there is poverty, drugs being sold. Your mom is on crack, or you're fatherless. Your whole life. So like, rap was really like that outlet, really kind of like a way for us as African Americans, and to vent really about just the things that were happening. But not only to vent though, but we're also making money off this, like, because all these record labels are like, man, this is talented, this is real.
Shit is selling.
Yeah, like it's selling. Yeah, because in the movie, and also in real life, like Dr. Dre, he was working for this guy who owned like he had him as a DJ, but he owned like this club and stuff, and he said get on Dr. Dre about pushing rap music because he's like, nobody want to listen to this reality rap shit. Bad enough they deal with this shit 24/7. Why the hell would you put this on here? You better keep playing the mother effing slow jams and shit. So like, so to get people, he wanted people basically like to keep playing slow jams or keep playing, classic type of music to get people's mind off of that stuff. But like Dr. Dre and really Eazy-E and a lot of those other guys, not saying they created rap, but at least from the movie, like they had that vision where like, no, we want to tell people what it's really like, because a guy like two guys like you from San Diego will never really understand what the ghettos of Compton, is, or, the hardships in Compton, or even, talking about like 50 Cent, what's Southside Jamaica, Queens like, or for like Nas, Queensbridge, in New York, it's like, it's just basically guys broadcasting what their life is like. Some tell stories. Now there is a lot of guys that also fake the funk, guys like 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine. And a lot
I heard Drake was Canadian.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's actually from Toronto.
But he doesn't come from a hard life. Does he pretend he's from a hard life?
Not really. And that was actually one of the why Drake actually had a little bit of a hard time connecting with people in the beginning, because they're like, man, he's talented. He could rap. He could sing too. But he doesn't come from struggle, because Drake actually, a lot of people, well, they should know by now, but when he was first coming out, like people were like, wait a minute, isn't that the guy from the Nickelodeon show Degrassi? And he actually, he played on Degrassi when he was just, I think a teenager, so he came from like that movie world, and he grew up in Canada, but he also, like, his father lived in Memphis, so he would come visit for the summer with his dad, then go back to Canada, be with his mom, go to school there and stuff. Also film.
Dude, Chris Brown is still struggling.
I mean,
he's always getting in trouble.
Getting in trouble and stuff. And the thing about Chris Brown, like he got famous really young too. Like he was already making millions and touring and stuff by the time he was like 15, 16.
Wow.
So like he, a lot of people say his struggle is he never had a struggle. Like as far as like growing up in a teenager or being an adult, learning about debt and all this other stuff. Sure, he had struggles from age 14 or 15, like from that to like lower, to birth, and not discrediting any of his struggles, because I've heard he had a pretty rough life and
like Michael Jackson struggles.
I wouldn't say Michael Jackson. Nah, I mean Michael's. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. I think it was called The Jacksons. I think it was like it was a long movie. And he's playing on VH1 all the time back in the day, and it was just the struggles of like Michael Jackson, because like the struggles of his father Joe putting on all the boys, because he wanted to be a singer, he wanted to be famous, have a band, but just never happened because either there's a lot of reasons.
So the thesis that I'm afraid might be true is that we have a lot of Black Americans struggling in the ghetto still, and when you have music that glorifies a negative lifestyle. Like, if you go and get educated and get a degree and get a good job, the Black community is more likely to tear you down than to build you up, right? They're going to say, you sold out. You're white now, right? You're wearing their clothes.
In a way, there's some that are like that, but there's also a lot that show, like, other Blacks or African Americans how to do it, like how to make it out, how to turn your struggles into cash, or how to, change your perspective. Like Waka Flocka, I mean, he's not from Fayetteville, but he used to spend a lot of time here in Fayetteville. Yeah. And now he dropped out of high school after his brother was killed and all this other stuff. But then after he got famous and got money from rap and stuff, he actually went back to school, got his GED, and went to college, got a doctorate degree. Like, I mean, he's a farmer. He owns all these different like businesses and stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of. He's just one example. I mean, there's Snoop and all these other people that are doing other things that have really impacted the community for better, not just glorifying like the horrible shit.
Do you guys happen to know the actual origins of rap at all? Like, I want to say I've heard from somebody, and I don't have any credible evidence or sources, so I'll just say, and if you guys confirm or deny or whatever, even back in the slavery days, I heard that they were rapping when they can as a way, as an outlet, but they couldn't because they would be stopped. So as slavery stopped, as it started to stop, as things started to change, it was it even more became a release from their repressed situation. So then you take in the repressed situation and what music meant to African Americans then. So then you get that.
I've never heard that, but
that's the first. Like,
I want to say I heard it. So I want to say I watched a short documentary on it, and I don't
know of a history of rap music because, say, slaves were rapping, they wouldn't have been able to get it recorded anyhow.
No, so it's the cultural, carried through culture, and then
what I did hear as far as like that with the slaves was that they would actually communicate through song, though, not really with necessarily rap, but like through song on how to escape. But like the masses or slave owners, they wouldn't understand. They're thinking these guys are just humming, singing, or whatever, doing whatever, and having them work, but they're actually singing.
Oh, they're singing the instruction manual.
Yeah, basically, like they're telling them. Like I remember when I was in school in Connecticut, there was a famous song called. It was like follow the drinking gore, follow the drinking gore. That when the old man's awaiting to carry out our freedom. But basically, in that little tune where they're saying the drinking gore, which was basically the stars of the Big Dipper, the drinking gore, and they're like follow the stars, which would lead you to the north. Where in the north there wasn't any like slavery, at least
right. You skip the fields,
Yeah, so they're like when the old man's waiting to give out asleep, basically. What you're saying, when the masters are asleep, follow the North Star, follow the drinking gore to escape, And a lot of them did do that, Harriet Tubman is very famous for escaping multiple times and coming back and getting people coming back. So that was actually through music. I don't know necessarily if it was rap, but definitely music.
Yeah, so there's something to that. Yeah,
yeah. I would connect the repression connected to the music and the culture, and it's just carried through the years. Unfortunately nowadays it's maybe some of the rap seems more detrimental. That's just everyone's opinion is whatever their perspective, but it seems like some of the rap can be more detrimental to the youth and whatnot.
Yeah, I just don't want popular entertainment to glorify things that we know are a bad result. Right? We know nobody wants to live in a ghetto. Nobody wants to live a life of crime. Nobody wants to be desperate. Nobody wants to have no opportunities and no education. These are clearly things that you wouldn't wish for your children, right? You want,
of course, yeah.
You want everybody to do well.
People in the ghetto don't even want to be in the ghetto.
Yeah,
so I'm a living example of that.
Yeah, we want everybody to do well, and it's not working in our country. We've been working on this for a while, and it's not working yet. So what's the path out of there? I think part of the problem is in the 80s when you have that rap music, when you have rap music that glorifies negative things, you have more of a cultural divide. You can see prior to that point, black entertainers were not that, I don't know how you call it, that angry or that pissed off. And you can say that a right to be for sure. But you look to entertainers before that, somebody like Lionel Richie, right? He's that's a different vibe, right? That's a whole different. Yeah, but there wasn't anybody afraid of Lionel Richie. You were happy to hang out with him at a party, right?
Yeah, and I think that's really what sparked the rap to really boom, because they look at guys like Lionel Richie or Michael
Al
Jackson,
Jarreau,
or Al Jarreau, James Brown. Well, maybe not James Brown, but anyway. But they'll look at all these guys that are on top, that are big entertainers, that are in the singing industry, but they're not talking about the realities that they face. They're not talking about drug abuse. They're not talking about teen pregnancy. They're not talking about getting, seeing their brother or cousin or best friend getting killed by the police for no reason, or just even struggles that they had to face. They just talk about the glory, like they glorify, like the life that they're living, living on the beach, or a life they want to live, living on the beach, bunch of women, making love to your woman, or they're talking about, materialistic things. So when rap really boomed in like that 80s to now, it's really a lot of it is reality. Don't get me wrong, rap nowadays is kind of because a lot of it is phony because so you got guys like I said I mentioned 6ix9ine and a lot of other guys that talk about a life that were never really a part of it. Like you got people that are acting like they're gang members, but they never was part of the gang at all. And a lot of them get called out for that. Then you got some that portray like this fake tough guy, or even like women, like you hear like they come from like great homes and stuff, but yet they hang around the hood or the ghetto just because they want to be down, or they never even visit that side, but yet they still want to rap about it and just talk about it and act like. And that's what people used to call Drake out, because they'll be like, they're like, oh, he's not real, he's not, he's talking about stuff he's never even been a part of. He grew up, with a silver spoon in his mouth, or he grew up, decently, and then was on TV from the ages of like 12 to whatever how old he's now. So it's so different. And but now where rap really took a dip, at least to like mainstream to a lot of people, is the sexual content. Like, because back then in those 80s and 90s, it was mostly about poverty and racism. And around, I want to say like the early 2000s or late 2000s.
Sex is good. We like sex.
Yes, sex is great.
Have you seen Doja Cat? That's good music.
Yeah, I would say, Doja Cat, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, even Lil Kim in the 90s. I mean, they're, making content that women never made before. Like, it's very raunchy. They're very descriptive. Like, they're very descriptive of what they're saying, like before, I'm trying to think of like some, like singers and stuff.
Yeah, beat it up like a piñata.
Yeah, they were using metaphors, similes, and stuff. They weren't really saying like, oh, I remember there was one song people were giving Cardi B a lot of like flack for, because she was like, she loves sucking dick, but she loves when the dick is like so far in her throat where it's hitting her, like hitting her like that little thing that's like that's in her throat, like that little thing that hangs,
the esophagus.
The esophagus, like so.
No, it's a tonsil.
Sorry.
Well, I thought the tonsil was a little further back. But anyway, it could either way. But people were riding her for that, and like Meg Thee Stallion, because like she twerks all the time in her videos.
Well, so like, that's part of my concern, is that we spend more time listening to Cardi B than learning biology, right? We don't know what a fucking tonsil is because we spend all our time listening to rap music.
How dare you call us out?
I know, right? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. So,
no, but that's a good example.
Yeah, so we don't glorify education, right? We don't do. I don't know how to change that to get people to want to move towards some better future. I mean, it's easy to sit in front of the TV and be entertained, right?
Yeah.
How do you motivate people who've got it all?
Well, there's been some rappers and people in that industry that have tried to motivate kids to go to school and stay in school. Like even as much as people hated him, but also loved him, depending on who you're talking to. Tupac, he was very big, a big advocate for people standing up for themselves and actually going to school, learning the art of acting or rapping, learning a lot of these things. Snoop Dogg's a big one. He still, to this day, gives back to the communities. Like, he gives thousands of dollars to scholarships. Yeah. He does these football events, basketball tournament to keep kids off the streets. He actually did a video where he's like, coming up from the streets when he was a kid, gangs was everything. And so it was like rap. So that's what he fell into. But now he's in that position of power. Yeah. He's like, he said, I refuse to give my little homie a sack of, drugs to go sell, or a gat to go kill someone. He'll give him a microphone. He'll give him a camera. He'll give him a pad and a pen and teach them how to use these things to further their life. You got other rappers like, I remember I seen The Game. He was posting on Instagram, because that's what old people use, right? No, that's for my podcast for all of your viewers. For them to understand that insider. But
he's Snapchat, posting, bro.
Yeah, I know. But he posts every week. He's like, I want to give a shout out to an up and coming independent artist and give them that platform, so they can help further their career. So there's a lot of people that are taking that money that they've made and platform and turning it around for good. But there's also some that are still, living that life and leading people into the path of destruction. But a lot of that focus is more towards, like I said, the sexual content. That's where like a lot of that focuses nowadays. But like in the 90s and 80s, yeah, it was all like what you were saying.
But I think what I'm trying to identify and cure, if there's a way, is there is definitely a cultural divide between black and white in America, right? It's not just skin. It's a cultural divide in that if you show up in a do-rag, I'm going to think something about you. But if you show up in a polo shirt, then I'm going to think, oh, this dude is not committed to gangster values. This dude is not about to commit a crime at the drop of a hat. Right. So I think that's
stereotypes.
No, but I mean, these are they are stereotypes, but who you going to bet on? Right.
Yeah.
The dude in the, because the clothes communicates something about your values, right? It communicates something about your intentions. Right.
And you actually, there's a lot of people that start to cut you off.
Yeah, no, go for it.
About the like the stereotypes of that, because Jay-Z is actually real big for trying to kill that stereotype of guys that you see like with like even dreads. That was a big thing where they're like, oh, if I see a dreadhead guy, African American dreadhead guy, and a guy who has a low cut hair, I'm gonna hire the guy with the low cut hair. I'm not gonna hire the guy with dreads. So. Right. Jay-Z, who's a multi-billionaire who has businesses on top of business on top of businesses, he actually started growing his hair out because like he wanted to change the way people look at him. So he's like, hey, look, I'm a billionaire. I made great stars like Kanye West, Rihanna, the Dipset, all these people and all these businesses I got my hand on to help form the Brooklyn Nets. But he's like, hey, look at me, I got twisties and dreadheads. Well, that's Dr. Dre. But yeah, even Dr. Dre, I mean, he's a billionaire too, Okay. I mean, so you got all these, people, and they're trying to, he was trying to change, I see what you did there, but trying to change that, that stereotype of like, oh, guy with dreads, he's never going to amount to nothing. But yeah, now Jay-Z's doing it, and it's been becoming really big over the years where dreads are becoming more accepted. Now do-rags got a long way to go. I mean, you will probably see more athletes now actually wearing do-rags, like a lot of these football players and stuff, and when under their helmets and stuff, but not too much as a fashion, outside of that. But
I think it. Oh, you want to wrap it up?
I think I'm going to cut you guys off. I have some final questions for you.
I want to fix America.
That's a big issue, man.
Make America great again.
Damn.
No, but I mean, think about ghettos. Think about how many people could be programmers, right? How many millions of youthful lives are wasted not achieving something awesome that could be, there's a future out there for everybody. So that's my limit. But yeah, sorry.
All right. I know you said 30 minutes way earlier, so if you want to answer just literally like one sentence answers, that's totally fine with me. You can keep it short. Sure. There's like 5 questions, so it's quite a bit. Right. If I told you to put $5,000 into crypto, what would you do or think?
I would do it. I just because I hear so much positive about crypto. I don't really hear too many people talk negatively about crypto. And that's actually one thing, like we talked before that I actually wanted to get into. And I was actually watching your episode that you guys were talking about of currency. I didn't finish all of it, but from what I was listening and like the lady's input, I forget her name. I'm so sorry.
Renee.
Renee.
Yeah. So that's one thing I definitely want to continue to listen because cryptocurrency seems like it's going to be the future.
Yeah.
So I would definitely invest if I had 5 million, I would definitely invest.
Whoa.
Into
it. All right. Next question. What can you not live without, excluding the obvious, water, food?
Oh, I was gonna say pizza, but damn it, no, it's like
pizza.
Pizzas? I mean, I could take that.
I'll just play.
Because I love pizza. It's probably my top. It might be my top number 1. It's top 5. It's top 5 definitely.
Show me the psychopath that doesn't like pizza.
You'd be surprised, man. There's people I've seen that get pizza without cheese on it, and I'm like, fuck. But one thing I can't live without. My health, my brain, my mentality, my positivity. But I know that's multiple things. But I would say probably my health. I'll say health. Cool. Without health, you don't got nothing.
Okay. Next question. What event caused you to be the most mature? It's a
9/11.
kind of an odd question, but just kind of think of something that really made you really mature.
What day did you grow up?
What day did I grow up? I think being homeless, but also getting out of depression when I was my first time I was in depression and facing it. But one of those two, that's what really helped me grow up. And I actually dealt with both of those at a very young age because I'm 26 now.
Yeah.
And first time I was homeless, I would think I was like 8. Then later on in life, again when I was like 24, 25, 20, somewhere around there. Then depression, I was like 15. I mean, sure, I could say it's probably earlier than that, growing up poor and stuff.
Yeah.
But probably 15. So, yeah, one of them.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah,
Depressing.
I know, right? For the most positive guy dealt with a lot of pain.
No, but I'm glad you made it out. Yeah, like
that's most people that have a positive outlook. A lot of them go through some tough times.
Yeah.
Next question: what keeps you up at night? What thoughts or what do you ponder about?
Oh man, between my lower back pains and the podcast. True stories. That's what keeps me up at
night. Next question: what's the best vacation you've been on?
I never took one.
Oh.
I was actually just talking about that with my sister, and I think a good friend of mine. I was like, like they're talking about their favorite vacations and experiences, and I really sat back and was like, fuck, I never took a vacation.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like never? And I'm like, no, like as far as like at least 3 days or maybe a week, like of just enjoying myself, going somewhere or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a chance to really do that. It's always been grind, hustle. If I'm lucky, I have a day to myself, maybe.
Yeah.
But never really had a chance. I would love to go on a cruise. That seems pretty fun.
Nice.
Or that's one thing I would love to do, or go to Disneyland. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds good. Last question: what inspires you?
Man, my family. They've been through a lot, and just the strength of my parents going through the hardships that they've been through, and seeing how they came out of it. That inspires me, but also what inspires me, of course, my sister. She's so talented. She can do so many different things. She has her own brand of just clothes and logo. She does all types of stuff, man. She's the first one to go to college out my family. So I mean, she's done a lot. She has her own, like I said, her own Facebook page and stuff, Lazelle's Boutique. She named it after the middle name of my niece, which I love to death.
Nice.
Which I know she's probably killing me right now because she wants to get out of her room.
Okay.
But
so
good.
We could close this up. So plug yourself. Where could people find you? And then we'll do the outro and the intro.
Yeah, definitely. For everybody who's checking this out, you can find me at the People's Choice Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm on Reddit. I just found that out because that's where you guys found me. That's But all platforms really. Only thing I'm not on that I know of is Pandora, which I don't really know how to get on that, but maybe one day. But everything else, that's where you can find me. Just put the People's Choice Podcast, and you'll find me, Alvin Peoples by name. That's really about it.
Nice.
All right, Alvin. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Cheers to you. Cheers to us.
The first time I don't have a drink near me. Dang it!
It's all good.
I'll give you the fist bump.
Boom! I'll drink twice for you.
Thanks. Yeah, definitely do that for me. But guys, thank you again too for being a part of my show and being part of your show again. This is awesome.
Awesome.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Yeah. Till next time.